you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I am. I'm okay, man. It's middle of the week.
Yeah, we both did trips.
We both did trips. Yeah. Well, I've done 3 trips actually.
Oh, geez, I only have one.
I think yours, but yours is better. We've taken the van up to Sunrise Bike Park. We took it out to the San Bernardino National Forest and rode at Big Bear at Snow Summit, and then also at Sky Park. And then this past weekend, we took it up to Prescott and rode Beam Peaks, which is a fantastic kind of,
I know we're going to talk about one subject we've already planned on, but honestly, we should touch on those too.
We could.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if something tells me we'll probably spend the whole time talking on the one subject that we're not telling our listeners what it is.
Yeah, not yet. You got to wait.
All right. But I got a joke to start with, or I got a story to start with.
Okay.
So there's a new movie out.
Oh.
The Odyssey.
Oh, yeah. I want to see it.
You want to see it? Matt Damon.
Yeah.
You think it looks good?
Yeah.
You know what I think?
What?
You got to see this wiener.
Wait.
Oughta see this wiener.
I don't know.
The name of the movie is Odyssey.
Yeah.
You ought to see this wiener.
Oh. That was horrible. I feel like you could have done that. Okay, so if I was doing it, I would do something like, hey, did you see the Odyssey?
Yeah.
Right? And you'd say,
no.
And I'm saying, well, you ought to see this wiener.
That would have been better. That would have been better. My delivery was bad.
Yeah.
Typically, my delivery is good. Yeah. But today, I screwed it up, I guess.
Okay. Right. See, when I say it like that, I totally like it. You ought to see this wiener. Okay. Now it's a good joke.
We'll see. So we'll have to ask our listeners, did you joke? Did you laugh? Well, maybe you didn't laugh at all. But if you did laugh, did you laugh at my delivery?
Nope.
No?
Yeah, nobody did.
I got to go back.
I'm sorry. I don't do a very good job with jokes.
No, but that one was bad.
Bad.
Just because you didn't get it didn't mean it wasn't bad. Or that wasn't good.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad.
Okay, all right. So, on the heels of an episode that is not performing awesome, which is our MGU episode, which now we're stuck. Like, is it because it was about e-bikes? Is it because we went too technical? I think our prevailing theory here is that it's too technical.
Too technical. Yeah. I enjoyed it because I deep dove on those things and I thought they were cool. But man, you have to sit there and like take a class on that stuff in order to understand it.
Right.
Otherwise, you just glaze over. So even if you're into e-bikes, you glaze over.
Yeah, and we had our Tuesday night ride the day we published that last week, or whatever, and one of our listeners who we ride with, or who I ride with every Tuesday, who makes amazing cookies. Oh my God, he made this biscotti cookie this week.
Oh shit, I missed that.
It was so good. But we ended up riding at Soro East last night, doing pave laps because we got so much rain on the east side.
Yeah,
that you don't ride on wet trails. Mm-hmm. But he comes up and he's like, "Man, I listened to your new episode. Pretty technical." He's like, "No, I liked it. I liked it. I really did." I'm like, "Yeah, Mike. Okay,
whatever."
As soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
So maybe we went too deep, but we'd love any feedback that you guys have on that episode. Just like, is it the e-bike content? Was it too techie, or is it just a slow burner and it's going to take a while to perform better?
I think in a year that episode's going to be popular.
We're going to come back and they're going to be like, because these guys predicted it all.
Yeah, because that's when the stuff will hit.
We're just ahead of our time.
So you reminded me, I rode last night with Jilly on the west side of town because and it was amazing weather. Like we weren't getting rained on. The trails were dry, but it was nice out. And then I mentioned to you that I haven't been on my e-bike in over a month.
You've been riding pedal bikes.
Yeah, and I gotta say it's been nice. Like I kind of.
How are the knees feeling?
They're not too bad. I got to be careful. But I started riding bikes to test for Whistler, going to Whistler.
Yep.
And then that ballooned into doing more testing because I had 2 bikes that I was going to take or possibly take. And then then I rode Whistler, so that's what we're going to talk about. Yeah. By the way, breaking that news. And then since then, I've got back on my regular pedal bikes and just riding around and just had a blast.
Yeah.
What I noticed is the e-bike trains me to pedal fast, like high cadence,
which is good for your knees.
Yeah,
and good for you on the pedal bike.
Yep. Yeah. And then but then when I get on the pedal bike, since there's no power assist, it's like I lost all my power, but just a short time of staying on the non-e-bike, I was back and I dropped Jilly like a bad habit, So, yeah. So
she doesn't listen to this, does she? She's not.
Even if she does, she knows she sucks. So that's not true. That's not.
She's
true.
Rad, by the way, for the record.
She is. Yeah. The guys said we were doing a downhill trail while I was testing some bikes, and she went and took the. It's called Aspen Draw. Yeah. We do shuttles, and the guys are like, "Your daughter was dropping us." So so she's getting better and better. So.
It's cool seeing them. My son, my youngest now. We've talked before about my oldest, who actually has been on the podcast, who is just a fantastic athlete. But my youngest, who's 13 now, I can't keep up with him.
That's cool.
We rode. I mean, you can argue whether or not it's really a double black, but at Sky Park. In the San Bernardino Mountains, we rode. They have one double black trail there. Maybe they have two, but we rode one of them.
Yeah,
it's the longest trail there. Anyways, there's some gnarly stuff on it, and he did it all. There was one. There's one feature that I didn't ride, Lacey didn't ride, Matt didn't ride. We all just skipped it. I think we could have rode it. It kind of just spooked us out.
Was it the whale tail or?
It kind of looks like that. Yeah. It's not really a whale tail. You're kind of like, you drop down, you come back up. There's a giant wood feature that then then there's a drop off of it and then it goes straight down.
Oh, okay.
For a good way. So it's like a left-hand turn on a wood feature that goes straight down. And it's just a weird, awkward thing. Mm-hmm. And you're coming into a drop like at a 90-degree turn. Like you're coming right into a 90-degree turn drop.
Yeah. I think it's called a hip turn.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. It just caught us off guard. Mm-hmm. Anyways, the cool thing was that Maddie rode that whole thing other than that one feature.
Nice. That's awesome. So Sky Park, some people call it Santa's Village.
Yeah, it's actually Sky Park at Santa's Village.
So, and that's up near Big Bear. So it's a really cool place. So talking about that, today's episode is mainly about
Whistler. And I'll tell you, the idea here was, I have not been to Whistler yet.
Okay.
And to me, it's like this mythical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mystical thing.
Yeah.
Mythical or mystical, whatever. And so I have 1,000 questions for you.
Okay, cool.
And what I thought was, if I've got 1,000 questions for you, I bet you that it's a mystical thing or like a bucket list thing or something folks, like every mountain biker on the planet wants to go to Whistler.
Okay.
So we should talk about it in detail. And I figured folks would get a kick out of that. And since you just went, it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
We can go through it.
After this podcast, Whistler is going to see the biggest boom. Because I'm going to tell you,
3 additional people will go.
Well, no, I'm telling you, this was a big test. So we went last year on our family trip.
Yeah.
And we drove up the coast. And, you get lost into all of the driving there, the time it took, everything. I couldn't tell you what I spent last year to get to Whistler.
Yeah.
This year,
down to the penny.
Pretty much, yeah. And it was surprisingly affordable.
Yep.
Really surprisingly affordable. And so let's dive into it. So
okay. So I got a bunch of different categories here. Again, we're going to talk about Whistler.
Okay.
Like, what does it cost to get to Whistler? What are the things that you do to get there? Where do you stay? What are the amenities that are there? What's the bike park like? All that kind of stuff. So we're just going to kind of deep dive on Whistler, and I got it kind of organized in a bunch of different categories here. But let's start with how'd you get there?
We flew.
Okay. So you flew from where to where?
So last year we drove because from Tucson, Arizona up to there, it's quite a drive. But we were doing it as a camping trip. There's so much time on the road, it wasn't worth it. So my idea was one day of travel would be more efficient.
Each way.
Yeah. I take less time off work, things like that.
So you guys flew direct from Phoenix to Vancouver.
Yeah. So we had to drive to Phoenix just because Phoenix is a big airport.
Yep.
So, and then there was a direct to Vancouver, and that's key because when I first went to Whistler, we went to Seattle, and then we rented a car and drove. Again, not efficient.
So I did a little search and just said what major U.S. cities or what U.S. cities have direct flights to Vancouver.
Okay.
And there's about 25 U.S. cities that have direct flights to Vancouver. You don't have a layover or anything like that. I'll just go through a few of them. Seattle for sure has hundreds a week. Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, Portland, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Denver, Salt Lake, Chicago, New York, Boston, Washington, Atlanta. All those are major. I just to pick a handful of them. have direct flights to Vancouver. So chances are if you're in the United States, so, you have an option or you have the ability to book a direct flight to Vancouver.
Yeah. So, our flight was around $550.
Okay.
Round trip.
That's great. And it's probably worth making sure everyone knows.
Yeah.
Whistler's in Canada.
Yes. Yeah. So you have to have your passport.
You have to have a passport.
Yep. Yeah. And they asked for that regularly, like on the plane, like, getting onto the plane in Phoenix, cause it's going to land in Canada. And then in Canada, we had to show our passports. So it was a big deal going there on the way back too. So,
and even when you drove, you had to show your passports.
Yeah. So that is required. I don't know if there's other ways. The travel IDs or whatever. I'm not sure about that, but a passport was easy.
Okay. So if you don't have a passport, you should probably have one.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you flew up there, direct flight from Phoenix, $550.
Yeah.
And then you got there. So now you're in Vancouver and it's a few hours from Whistler.
Yeah.
It is the closest major airport and a few hours from Whistler.
I'm trying to think what it actually is. I think it's 100 kilometers. From Vancouver. I could be wrong on that.
Okay. That'd be like 60 miles, right?
Yeah, it's not long, right? It took us like close to 3 hours. So
driving.
Yeah. And so we since I was there, and here's some nuggets info for people going. Since I was there, I had a good idea of whether or not we needed to have a car if we were there. Because we've gone to other places where a car is, like for instance, when you went to Big Bear.
Yeah.
And then Sky Park, there's a 30-mile distance between those. Yeah. If you don't have a car,
you're screwed.
Yeah. And so Whistler has this huge village, which has got hotels and restaurants and shops and all kinds of stuff. It's like a little city at the base of the mountain at the lifts.
Right.
There's nothing you need. There's 2 grocery stores that I noticed, a smaller one and then a big one, like a big major grocery store.
Like in the village of
In
Whistler.
the village, yeah, like right there, walking distance from the lifts.
Okay, cool.
So super close. And there's a drugstore. There's all kinds of, you name it. There's bike shops up the wazoo.
Yeah.
There's an emergency room like at the base,
which I'm sure is very busy.
Yes. And then hotels.
Probably lots of orthopedic surgeons that are stationed in that emergency room.
Yeah, like you don't need to leave there. Like it's got everything. So
that was one of my questions later on, but cool. So self-contained. So you decided you didn't need a car.
Yeah. So I'm like, we don't need a car. So there's an organization called Whistler Shuttle that will pick you up. You give them your flight info. They track you. And then they pick you up at the curb at the airport.
Okay.
So you don't have to go find them or get to anything. They just pick you right up. Literally, we got our bikes off the conveyor belts and then walked out to the curb and waited. And then they were there. And they shuttle you from Whistler Airport to Whistler Village. But not only that, but they shuttled us straight to the door of our hotel, which was in Whistler Village. And that hotel was, it was Whistler Peak Lodge.
Okay.
So now Whistler Peak Lodge was fine. Nothing wrong with it. There's a ton. You can't really go wrong.
Just endless number of lodging opportunities.
This one happened to be, we did it as a VRBO.
Yep.
So we kind of thought we were getting like a house or a condo and didn't really, because I don't read very much, didn't really realize it was
just a hotel that someone owned the room and was VRBO.
I don't even know if it was owned. I'm not sure. It didn't really matter too much, but it had a 2-bedroom kitchen, had a big closet where we could put our boxes for our bikes. And then it had a bike storage down in the garage where we could put our bikes.
So let's back up a second because we missed something.
Okay.
Obviously, if you're traveling to Whistler, you can either bring your own bike,
yes,
or you can rent one there.
You can rent one,
but you guys brought your own bikes,
yeah.
So how did you do that? Like, how did you actually bring the bike?
So we researched the airline that we used was United. They were great, by the way, and United will allow you to use one of your checked bags as a bicycle, and you just pay a fee.
Okay.
And I think it was like $50 roughly.
Okay.
So,
but what did you bring the bike in?
I boxed it. So I boxed it in a cardboard box. You can do them in bike bags or
carriers,
transportation stuff. United has like a total size limit. So you have to be within that, and then a weight limit. So you have to be within that. As long as you stay within those, it was like $50 extra. And then that counted as our check baggage. And so then we could have one carry-on and one personal item.
So our listeners could probably just go to their local bike shop and be like, hey man, I need a bike box.
Yep.
And chances are the bike shop that week is going to be throwing out some bike boxes.
Yep.
And they'd probably be able to get one from their LBS.
Yeah. So I do this for a living. So I had mine boxed and I got it into a tiny box. And, this could be in our Bike Shop Secrets episodes, but this is a little secret. That the guys were super jealous, and about every other cyclist in the airport was really, really jealous of my setup. And so you guys are going to hear this for the first time. This is a global, unveiling of how to box hype tech. So a long time ago, I saw where somebody had taken a furniture dolly and stuck it on their bike and strapped it with a ratchet strap, so they could go through the airport. Easy.
Just pulling it.
Yeah, because they're kind of bulky. If you do it in a cardboard box, if you buy a nice Evoc bag cover, it's got wheels and a handle and stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you just do a cardboard box, because if you don't do it very often, spending $400 or $500 on a bag is hard to do.
Yeah, it's not.
You can rent them in a lot of places, but just for me, I have boxes for free. I can do that. So I saw this thing. It was in I think Single Tracks a while ago. And I went and Googled it. I could not find it. I tried Amazon. I'm like, there's got to be some wheel system for boxes that you can just strap on to do this. No, it doesn't exist. Nope. Somebody made it. People have made things, but it doesn't exist as a product. So hint, hint for anyone who wants a good product. Yeah. So I'm lamenting this while as I'm boxing it
I just got to ask you, were you searching for strap-ons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And trust me, if you put strap-on
in your Google window,
probably you get weird results. Some disturbing ones. So I'm sitting in the shop with the guys and I've got the bike boxed, and we had a trick where we would take packing tape and you loop it up over the box and kind of tape it down, and then you crinkle it together and you make a holder,
like a handle.
And this is how we can use hanging scales to weigh the bike boxes. So we don't need a bathroom scale.
Yep.
And so I did that to weigh my bike to make sure it was at the right weight. And then I'm like, oh man, I could put one of these on the front and then I can kind of grab it that way. And then I'm picturing I got to go through this airport from the parking lot probably to the airport, dragging this bike or holding it with two hands. If anyone's lifted a bike box, you got to grab it with two hands. You can't just do it with one.
It's too big.
Yeah. And then I've got my carry-on and a backpack. So how am I going to do this? And I'm like, I got to figure out a way to do this,
Right.
And I'm not thinking, oh, the airport has these little carts, which truthfully, you can get these little carts at most airports to do that. I'm thinking, how do I even get it from the front of the shop to my van, or from my van in the parking lot to the airport? And so I'm like, I'll make these loops and I can carry it. And then I'm like, man, this would be so much better. I saw these wheels. I wish I could put wheels on this, but if I go get dolly wheels, they're huge, and I'm sure they'll get ripped off. It's cardboard, My buddy at the shop, Daniel, was like, just go get a cheap carry-on and steal the wheels off those. They're low profile. And I'm like, holy crap. There's a Goodwill down the street. Yeah. So I went down to the Goodwill, got a cheap carry-on bag for $7, and then brought it back here. It's got the retractable, handle.
Yeah.
And it goes into a frame that's on the outside that is just riveted on with 4 rivets to the bag, drilled the rivets out, and it's got a perfect little L-shaped edge. And I just duct taped that to the bike.
To the
box bike. And then I had my little strap on the bottom, and I lifted it up, and it pulled just like a little piece of furniture.
That's crazy,
piece of carry-on. And so I was trucking through the airport with that, and all the cyclists are like, whoa, that's so cool. So it is awesome. I cut that thing off and kept it. So for the next
do you have a picture of that?
It's funny. I sent the guys a picture.
So then you probably still have it somewhere.
Yeah, I got to find it. We maybe post it.
Yeah, we'll post it if we can find it. I was thinking you were going to say a skateboard truck.
No,
because that's what I would have used.
Yeah, but they're real tall. These the little things are tiny, man, and they worked perfect. And I just taped them to the box. It just taped it and taped the box up. Yeah, and so it was like a superstar. Like, it was awesome. So I loved it.
I didn't think we were going to spend so much time talking about how you carried how you jerry rigged your box to get it through the.
I was very proud of it because it worked really well.
Yeah,
and that box was free for me because I'm unpacking bikes all the time.
Yep.
And so then I had my bike boxed and packed and ready to go. And then we got to the airport. That was pretty decent to get it through there. They took the bikes. They weighed them, but honestly, they didn't care as much as I thought they would. And we got them all on the plane. We flew into Vancouver.
Yep.
And then in Vancouver, we hired this shuttle service.
Yep.
And they were roughly $150 round trip.
Canadian or American?
American.
So we should try to just talk in American dollars.
I'm going to try and do that for the most part.
Yep.
So about 150 round trip from the airport to your hotel.
You and your bike.
Yeah, you and your bike. Yeah. So it's cheaper if it's just you and luggage, but the bikes cost extra. So that was one cost, so 150 round trip.
Like, what kind of vehicle was it? You felt
the first one was a big motor coach, like 36 people or maybe more.
So your bike was inside in the back.
Yeah, they have like a little area in the back they block off for that. And the drivers were amazing. In fact, I feel crappy. I did not have cash to give them a tip. Well,
that's karma.
On the way back, it was the same driver, so I could tip them.
So you made sure you had cash.
And so I did feel bad going there because I just wasn't carrying it.
But you doubled it up on the way back.
Yep,
so you made good on it.
So we get to the lodge, and then we take the bikes and take them downstairs to the room. They've got a big old, outside the room in the parking garage, they've got a big old table where you can work on your bike. They didn't have a bike stand. I think they should really.
I was going to ask you, did they have tools or a bike stand?
No,
like that?
Tools I think is maybe risky, but a bike stand bolted to the wall would have been
fantastic.
Pretty pro. Yeah. And so we all built our bikes that night when we got there, and then we tooled around the village on the bikes just for something to do, and saw a bear. So
brown bear or black bear?
The black bears. So they're all over the mountain, and they'll come down in the village. And we were just cruising around, and there he was right there. So it was pretty crazy. So
wow.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me more about the village. Like, what's it like? What kind of, you mentioned that there was a couple grocery stores. You mentioned that there was a pharmacy and an emergency room. Lots of good restaurants.
Tons.
What about like live music, anything like that?
Yeah. So the same night that we got there, we were tooling around. They had a music festival. So I'm going to get at one end, the end opposite of where the lifts are of the village is the Olympic Village, where they had the Olympics, and they have the big Olympic rings, and they have a big stage and a big grass area.
Okay.
And they were having a outdoor concert going on while we were there. So that was cool. So you can hang out there. The village.
Did you have to like buy tickets to it, or was it just like
totally
like
open?
Free? Okay.
Yeah. Parking kind of sucks in Whistler. It's all you have to pay for it.
Okay.
So again,
another benefit of just taking the shuttle.
The shuttle, and you can walk everywhere. And then if you have your bike, you can bike. But if you need to bring locks if you're going to leave it somewhere or something. The first night we checked out the whole village. Checked out that live venue. It was it's packed with people, families, all kinds of stuff. So it was really cool. And then, the rest of the village, it's built like almost every big building is a hotel or lodge of some sort. And then the lower level is all shops. So as you're walking down the middle of the village, it's kind of one big long walkway.
Yeah.
And a couple bridges that go over streets that go underneath, and there's shops lining the whole thing. So you can get souvenirs, you can get ice cream. There was one place, I can't remember what it was called, something cow, where you can get some really amazing ice cream. We went to the spaghetti factory.
Okay.
In fact, I will tell you, on a budget, spaghetti factory was clutch. Like, it had the best food for the money. Let's put it that way. So, but most of the places that you go have like patios, so you're looking on the walkway where everybody's at. It's really kind of a cool vibe and atmosphere. We were there Saturday night. We had dinner at this one place. I can't remember what it was called. The Beacon, I think it was. And we kept seeing brides coming through, brides and bridesmaids. And so we see these bridesmaids come through, and we're like, oh, check that out. That's a bridesmaid thing. 5 minutes later, there's another one. 5 minutes later, another one. I swear we saw like 9 different
wedding parties
coming through, going to party. By the way, there's bars and clubs also in this
all throughout the village.
Yeah. And so we asked the waiter, I go, what is going on? And they're like, yeah, Whistler is super popular for getting married, So people,
I never would have thought that.
Me either.
It makes sense to me.
I don't know if it does to me. Like,
I mean, isn't it rad? Isn't it like really beautiful? And then you got everything you're explaining.
Yeah,
means it'd be easy to bring people in. There's lots of lodging opportunities. Absolutely. There's stuff for everyone to do. It's really very beautiful part of the country. It's kind of out of the way. Yeah. It sounds like
gets you out of the city.
Yeah, it sounds like a great. I'm sure the wedding photos would be fantastic with the views and stuff like that. So yeah, man.
So okay,
I can see it. I can see it. One interesting thing that I looked up was that the altitude at the base is like 2,200 feet.
Yeah,
which by the way is like 1,000 feet lower than we are right now. So you don't have as bad of like some of the places I ride, you know, you're starting at the base at like 6, 7, 8, 9,000 feet. You're like out of wind before you even get on the lift.
Yeah. I feel like that when we go to Angel Fire. Yeah. Like you're out of breath as soon as you walk up the stairs and launch.
Right. No shit. You have to walk up slow, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, we didn't have that problem at all. If anything, we had an advantage because we were used to thinner air. So
yeah, one of the resorts we stay at in the wintertime in Utah's Bryan Head, and I think like the place we stay is over 10,000 feet. Like the base is over 10,000 feet. Yeah. So like I have a hard time sleeping.
Durango is like that for us, and like you're bonking like crazy. So
so a little bit lower altitude.
Yeah, it's crazy. The highway you take in is called the Sea to Sky Highway. And you go along an inlet and you get to see this bay and this beautiful, like all these little villages along the water and boats out in the bay and the ocean. And then as you get farther in towards Whistler, it kind of narrows down and then turns into a river. And so then you're following a river into Whistler, which is really cool. You go by Squamish is right outside Whistler. Yep. So you get to go through these famous places. If you're eagle-eyed, and you're watching out of the transfer bus, you get to see waterfalls along the way. It's really cool. So it's a beautiful drive. So.
Okay, fantastic. And one of the questions I was going to ask you is if you guys used the grocery stores to cook so you could save some money, but it sounds like you guys ate out a lot.
What we did was we knew that getting up and going to breakfast every morning would be a pain. So first night we went to the grocery store and got breakfast. So we got eggs and things to make coffee so that our breakfasts were not like a big expense. And it was really nice. We had like some sort of breakfast burrito or egg thing every day with coffee and what have you. So it was a nice, good breakfast, cheap, didn't cost much, and we didn't have to be dressed and then come back and get ready, suited up to go ride.
Yep.
So it was nice.
So you guys just went out to dinner basically.
Then lunch was there's lots of places that you can stop for lunch.
Yeah. Are there places on the mountain where you can stop too, or do you have to come down to the bottom?
We didn't go, so the bottom is right where the village is, so that's easy. We didn't really explore anything for food on
the mountain.
On the mountain. I think at the very top, near top of the world, there was a restaurant because we went out and took pictures on the balcony and stuff.
Yeah.
And so way up there you can, but we weren't really interested in that. One of the places we went to a place that did poke one day. We did these pies, savory pies, another day, and then we did. There was a pizza place.
Okay.
So all really cool, kind of different. And the crazy thing is, I think the lifts are 10 o'clock till 8 o'clock, if I remember correctly. And I think that's right. It's either 9 or 10 to 8 o'clock, I think. And so it's a long day. And the light, because you're so north, the days are longer, much longer this time of year. So it's not even getting dark till like 9:30, you know?
Yeah, right. So you're at a higher.
Yeah. It was kind of weird. If you're stopping riding around 7 or 8, you're then getting maybe cleaned up and going and having dinner at like 9, and you're walking around the village looking for stuff to do around 10 o'clock at night, you know, like it was a weird time shift. So
online it says that the hours of the lift vary by zone. Maybe that makes sense to you. Most zones are open from 10 to 5.
No.
And some zones can close as early as 4 and go all the way to 8.
Okay, so the Fitzsimmons lift is the main one
that you guys rode.
That was definitely till 8.
Yeah, so 10 to 8. It's
a long day.
It's a 10-hour day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that's a lot of riding.
Yeah. So what's cool about that is you don't feel pressured to get lap after lap after lap. You can take breaks. We took an hour lunch, you know, and just kind of tooled around.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like your lift ticket
You had to get your money's worth.
Yeah, man.
Like we do at Angel Fire. Like, don't stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're stopping for lunch. You're a pussy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Wait until
wait until the lifts close or the weather.
Yes.
That was another question I had. Like, did you guys have any weather delays when you were there, or are they prone to weather delays? Do you know?
So last year we were there like in June, end of June, and it was very dry, dusty, no issues.
Okay.
But they didn't have the whole mountain open.
Just because they didn't have the snow melt yet?
Yeah, and so the upper mountain wasn't open. And so there's plenty to do on the Fitzsimmons chair, which it does the whole, lower mountain. There's tons of stuff to do.
Right.
But when we went this time in July, we had the upper mountain open, and we also explored Creekside, which was amazing. So Creekside is kind of like a very well-kept secret. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's got some really cool trails, lots of flow, great for families. Not maybe as bro dude as the other side of the mountain, but really fun. I really enjoyed it. There's some blue flow lines that are just super fun. And then
before we dive deep into the bike park itself,
sure,
I want to just like one or two more questions. If you wanted, like when you brought your family last year, or if someone wants to bring folks with them up to Whistler and they don't mountain bike, are there other things to do for the family? Like what are the other things that you saw or that you know about? My
wife doesn't ride and she loves Whistler. So she gets to explore like the whole village. She's not a shopper as like, she likes to just go buy stuff, but she likes to go check out shops and like see the culture and things like that. And then there's museums all around there. There's lots of gardens and places you can just hang out and chill out. Right. I took some pictures of some water features and stuff around there.
Can they do scenic rides up the lifts?
Yeah. In fact, in June last year, my wife took the kids up to the very top of the world, and they had a snow maze. So you could hike up the hill and go in this maze that was snow,
snow.
Yeah, still snow, and you can't see over it. Like it's a maze, like think corn maze, that we've seen, but snow. And so they did that. They actually went kayaking one day.
Okay. There's lots of hiking trails.
There's hiking. There's zip lining. There's cross country trails.
Where did they go kayaking? Is there a lake nearby?
Yeah, there's a lake. I think there's a few.
Okay, so fishing is probably an option in there too?
Yeah, I don't think it's Crystal Lake. I can't remember what the lake's called. I remember going to look for it on the bike and getting lost. And worrying there's a grizzly around any corner.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, there's one lake that you can see when you're on the lift, and I think there may be more right around there. I'm not an expert on that because honestly, I was more worried about the bike park, but my wife was finding all the cool stuff around there. There's Jeep tours. You can rent ATVs. There's all kinds of stuff. Waterfalls. We did, 20 years ago when we got married, our honeymoon was half in Whistler, half on a cruise, in the Alaskan Inside Passage cruise. And I remember on that honeymoon, my hands were so worn out, I couldn't ride. And so we spent a day doing waterfall hikes, which was amazing. So you would just go on these guided hikes, and they would take you to these waterfalls, and they were just beautiful. So I'm sure that there are a subset of our listeners. I can't partake in this, but I'm sure there's a subset of our listeners that are really interested in the answer to this question. Okay.
Is cannabis legal in Canada? I actually know what it is. I just looked it up. Yeah. It is. It's been legal recreational since 2018.
Okay.
But did you see any places to purchase cannabis in the village?
You want to hear my story?
Go for it.
Okay. So second day, first run down the mountain. So one of the drawbacks to going in July is the trails are going to be a little more beat up. And one of the things that happens, especially on these high-speed jump trails,
braking bumps,
especially if it's not the big lines that the pros do, it's the kind of the learner trails that are more blue and things like that. You're going to get braking bumps. And man, my arms and hands were just hamburger after the first day. And so first run of the second day, my hands are almost giving up to where I'm going to let go of the bars, which is dangerous.
Lobster claw.
Yeah, and it was really bad. And I told the guys, I go, I'm out. I'm going to take some time off. So one run, I got out there and I was like, I can't do this. I can't hold on to the bars. And so I went back to the room and took a nap and just kind of let my hands. Rather than ruining every day I figured if I took a long break, maybe tried later that afternoon, or took the day off and then had the third day to ride.
Yeah.
Rather than
crush yourself.
Two days would be better than 1.5, and I've crashed. You know. So when we met for lunch, we happened to eat lunch right next to a dispensary, and so I was like, you know what, man, I don't partake, but I'll use it sometimes to sleep.
Yeah, and
I know I've had it. I know how it calms, pains down. Yeah. So I'm like, maybe they know, and I'm sure that there's been plenty of mountain bikers that have walked in there with the same exact
arm pump. Help me.
Yeah, I was, by the way, when I went back to the lodge to take a nap, I was watching YouTube videos. I was trying to glean any kind of little nugget of info to try and get my hands, because I race downhill. It's not like this is new to me, but man, I was just riding so hard and so fast through these brake bumps that it was just like killing. It's like having your hands open and having a jackhammer just pound them. It was just crazy.
Were you riding with buttercups?
No, I was riding my DVO, and I got to tell you, the DVO did great. Yep. But I've had this issue at Angel Fire too on the second day. Yeah. Near the end of the day, when you're doing like faster flow lines where the braking bumps are going into bermed corners, and I love to hit bermed corners as fast as possible, so I don't slow down. But a lot of people do, and those braking bumps get deep. I mean, it's like potholes, and they're huge. So it's like going into a huge rock garden at 40 miles an hour, So, but anyway, at lunch I went to the dispensary and I told the guy what I was going through, and I said I don't really like to feel high, so I'd prefer something. But if you've got something that I don't care if I get high, if it fixes this problem and I can ride, you know. And he's like, no, man, I got CBD. It's no THC. And so he sold me this stuff. And honestly, I adjusted my brake levers up a little bit so my palms
Was it like a lotion or something?
No, it was a gummy.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I don't believe in lotions. Those are witch doctor stuff. But if you eat it, it's got to get into your body, right?
just for the record, it's not. You can absorb things through your skin.
That's not
scientifically proven.
Silly. So yeah. Plus, I like the gummies. But I had a gummy, and I rode the rest of the day, so it really helped. So I did adjust my brake levers. I'm one that I like my tendons in my arms
not to be bent.
Yeah. And so that typically has my brake levers pointed down on a trail ride
when you're standing up.
Well, even sitting, it's my angles are. But one of the suggestions was to bring those more flat so that I have more palm holding me up and not the crux of my thumb.
Okay.
Because I was having it to where it was pulling my thumbs backwards and kind of hyperextending my thumbs. I can still feel it as we're talking right now. I'm kind of pushing on my thumb, and it still hurts. And it's almost like your thumbs are the only thing keeping you on the bar. Yeah. And so by rotating it up, your thumbs go down, and you're using more palm to hold you on the bar. So I don't know how to explain it, but man, it helped. So
do you know when I first started riding at bike parks and I was taking lessons from Homegrown? Mm-hmm. I would ride with my thumbs above the bar.
Oh God, dude!
And I had to, my coach was like, "Wow, I've never seen one do that before." And so I had to train myself to ride a bike like everyone else does.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of debate on how to have your hands and where to put them. Jackson Goldstone has got real flat levers. Yeah, and so some people believe in that. Some people are more about the tendon thing, like me. I think that it's pretty sound if you're heading downhill and you're using your hands to support you, because you're literally
better than your thumbs
going to fall, off the bike. That is a good thing. When I was racing enduro a couple years ago, I actually injured my thumb doing that, crashing, and it ripped the bar out of my hand. And hyperextended my thumb. Took me off the bike for almost 6 months because its tendons are way harder to fix than
So that's
bones.
interesting. So do you think? So you think by raising your bar, your brake angle, so that they're more parallel with the ground versus pointed down.
Yep.
That actually helped you hold on easier, support your weight easier, ease the pressure on your thumb, and reduce the arm pump.
Yeah, I'm not sure 100% on the arm pump. But if you're not grabbing so tight because your thumbs are getting weak from holding you up,
that's going to help.
That's going to take a little bit of your arm pump away.
Okay.
So this technique was, honestly, to get my palms to take most of the weight of my body onto the bar, because I'm on a steep terrain and I'm pushing down. So imagine you're pushing something down like a floor pump.
Yeah.
And imagine if you were to turn your hands and point your finger straight to the ground and only push the floor pump with that's
effectively what you were doing on your bike.
And so we don't do that. We put our hands on top and we push with the whole hand.
Yeah.
And so it helped me do that. And I got to tell you, on the trail bike, I don't think I could ride like that because it's a real goofy position on your wrists. But in downhilling, it worked pretty good. So
okay, well, that's interesting. I might experiment with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into the bike park a little bit. First of all, lift ticket prices, $75 a ticket.
That's yes, yeah. It was about 90 or 100, but that was Canadian. Yeah, and so I never converted it. I just paid it. But yeah, so if that's what the conversion is,
I think it's roughly $75 US. And then I also looked up the rental bike prices, which were, I think there's like lots and lots of options there. It sounds like there's like
all over the place.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But the one that links from Whistler's website was like $150 for a downhill bike and the full like kit.
Okay.
So like, protection, helmet, chest pad, elbow pad, knee pads.
Yep.
$150 a day.
I would love to work in one of those shops for like a couple weekends just to get an idea of what they go through and what they do.
Don't you know that it's going to suck balls?
So
pretty much.
I won't name shops, but we had a problem. Mike, who we went with, his fork. So he was putting his bike in a box with the fork still attached. I put mine in a box and I would take the fork off. And it's how Pivot ships their bikes, so the boxes are much smaller. And I wanted to make sure that
you weren't going to pay extra.
Yeah, I didn't want to pay extra. I didn't want the bike to be oversized or overweight or anything. So in order to get his bike in the box, he had to deflate the fork to get the bike low enough to sit in the box. First day, he was having problems where the bike wasn't holding air. So like
the fork wasn't holding air.
Yeah. Sorry, the fork wasn't holding air. So it's funny, just to give you an idea of what a dick I am. So we're on the first or second run, and Mike's like, "Man, my fork. I aired it up when we built it. Then it seemed low when we rode around the village that night. And then this is the next day. We're now on the lifts and the first run. And he's like, dude, my fork is bottoming out." And I'm like, I serviced this fork about 4 months ago, maybe 5.
Yep.
And I helped him set it up, and it's a DVO. I think it's an Onyx or a Diamond. I can't remember. Diamond. And it's got OTT. And so we got it running really smooth. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what it is. He goes like, it looks like you're really low in travel, like your air's not there. He's like, I put air in it. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And then I just let go of my brakes and went down the trail.
This is the suspension guru. By the way, for the record, Mike also works at a bike shop and is very skilled mechanic himself.
But he's telling me about his fork that I have rebuilt. And he's like, there's a problem. And I'm like, that kind of sucks.
Sucks to be you later. See you at the bottom. There's lots of bike shops down there.
Yeah, I got to get back on the lift so I can do another run. But truthfully, I told Mike this too. I go, the whole time I'm riding, because there's nothing I can do there,
You're like diagnosing what
I was like thinking about which fork he had, because at first I mixed his up with the new Diamonds, which
doesn't have OTT,
and they have 2 different air chambers. I'm also imagining, where does the air go if it's leaking, and what happens, because I know that, because if a fork leaks its main air chamber into the lowers, what will usually happen is the seal will pop up and out of the fork.
Okay.
And it's a really obvious thing. And you're like, holy shit, what happened? And it's usually an air leak into the fork.
From the upper to the lower chamber.
Exactly. And so I'm like, well, that's not happening. It would have happened. He's coming down all these descents,
right?
And then I'm like, okay, well, on that fork, there's only 2 other seals. There's the Schrader core to the air valve, on top. And then there's an O-ring that the top cap seals. I'm like, that's it. So he rode it for 6 months. It's probably not that. It's probably the Schrader valve. I'm like, so we get down. We were coming down. We had transferred chairlifts, and we were going to Creekside. And so we get down to Creekside, and I'm like, let's find a shop and just replace the Schrader core and see if that fixes it.
Yes.
And so, again, I was a dick because I was like, I'll see ya. But I was thinking about it the whole run.
He didn't know that. The whole ride down, he's probably like, that
he's
motherfucker.
Like, God damn it. So, but as soon as we got to the bottom, I'm like, it's only 2 things that it could be. And it's got to be one of these. So then we went to like 3 different bike shops while we were in Creekside.
In the village.
Half of them didn't know what a Schrader valve was. Like, it blew my mind, you know. And for our listeners who may not know what a Schrader valve is, if you don't work in a bike shop, that's okay.
Yeah.
If you work in a bike shop, you should know what a Schrader valve is. The valve that comes out of your suspension, you know, that you put your pump on, when you change the little valve, that is called a Schrader valve. It's the same valve that's
in your car.
In your car.
And your wheels of your car.
And if you have the old school Schrader valves
for
bicycle tubes, all the bikes have Presta.
The new ones all have Prestas.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's not the same core. I could not believe that 3 different bike shops did not know what a Schrader. I mean, these people gave me the blankest look. Like, what? You know, what are you talking about? What is that? And I'm like, and I'm looking at rows and rows of all these rentals and bikes and stuff. And it just kind of chimed into my head. Like, you know, these guys know how to fill out a liability form and set your
very little
sag and send you out the door.
You know that thing you're using to set the sag?
Yeah.
That's a Schrader valve.
Yeah, exactly.
Were you looking for a core? Is that what you're looking for? Just to see if the core was leaking?
Yeah, because, you know, I had him squirt a little water on there, and he didn't say he saw any air bubbles, you know, but it's kind of hard with just water because it doesn't foam. And so you can have, it may be leaking and you may not see it.
Semen works really good.
Yeah. Is that really?
That's what I've
not tried that. So seems weird, but okay.
Bike shop secret.
No. Nobody's doing that in a bike shop, hopefully.
Not the Guru bike shop anyways.
So,
I'm sure it's been done sometime.
So we finally got to this place called Coastal Bikes, I think is what it is.
Somebody just spit their drink out.
Yeah,
that comment, I guarantee it.
So we get to this Coastal Bikes, cool shop. I admittedly, one of the people didn't quite know what we were talking about, but then the other guy did, and he was like super helpful. Yeah. He found one for us because I was like, I'll buy a Schrader tube, you know, if you guys don't take the valve core out, like I don't care. We put the core in and it fixed the fork. So
it was a core.
Yeah. And so we don't have a clue how it happened. He said that he just depressed it, but there's rubber in there and it can just wear out.
I've seen over time, especially in the dry desert, because there's a little rubber in that.
Yeah. And so that fixed his fork. So his bike was fine for the rest of the trip. But yeah, I remember just kind of being like, okay, see ya. Just thinking was probably, he's not going to react well to that. So.
Oh God, that's hilarious. All right. So, $75 lift tickets, $150 to do rental bikes, maybe even better deals than that. Tons of options there. So you can either travel with your bike or not. 100 trails.
Oh, so traveling with your bike or not. So here was our logic. $50 each way. So $100 total plus our effort to get it in a box. So we didn't pay a shop to do it. So for me, for anyone listening that's thinking about doing this, I would just do the basic math. If we here charge $100 to box a bike. So if you're not capable of boxing your own bike, I would say rent, because if you're there for 3 days and it's $300 to rent a bike, and for me it was 50 there, 50 back, and then if you paid twice to have it boxed, that's at $300.
Yeah.
So that's the math that I would do. Just
it's also an opportunity if you want to try out some different bikes.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you don't have a downhill bike and you want to ride a downhill bike at Whistler, because not a lot of people own downhill bikes.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a cool opportunity to try something fresh.
Now, the first time I went to Whistler, I was racing, and I was going to be damned if I was going to ride some rental bike.
Yeah.
So I shipped my downhill bike to a bike shop in Seattle, and then I built it myself. I didn't care, what the rental would cost. I wasn't doing to save the money. I wanted to ride Whistler on my race bike, so I could.
Yeah. So you do the best because you
could kill it. Yeah.
Did you kill it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. And my hands, same thing. So yeah, the mountain didn't change much. So
all right. So this blew me away. 100 total trails.
Yeah.
8 greens, 34 blues, 25 blacks, 28 double blacks, and 5 pro lines.
Yeah.
And then if you split it up between what they call free ride and technical, what I would call flow and technical.
Okay.
32 flow, 68 technical.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that feel?
Yeah. The first time I went there, because I only did the lower part of the mountain, I would have said it's more jump lines and flow.
Yeah.
The technical stuff you have to go look for, and it's a little harder to find.
Yeah. So it's not as popular.
Yeah. A flow line, there's a constant stream of people doing it.
And the tech is like more natural trail.
And I like that kind of terrain. So the first time I remember, I only found a few technical trails that I liked. I did do a couple other technical ones that I absolutely hated. And the irony is this trip, we were going down some of these trails, and I would stop to look at a feature with the guys, look over into the woods, and you would see all these abandoned skinnies and features. And I was telling them, I swear when I was there 20 years ago that every trail I hit, there was skinnies and ramps and stuff. And I can't ride them. I'm like deathly afraid. And they would have these trails that would take you, they would start off like on the ground. You would be riding. And
you're like, cool, I feel comfortable.
A foot wide skinny. Trail, and then it would start to climb a little bit. Oh, that's okay. It's a foot wide. And then it would start to get narrow while you're 5 feet in the air. And I'm like, I can't get off now. Like, what the hell? I got to finish, and I'm not good at them. So I remember the 20 years ago, like being freaked out about that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't hardly find that stuff now. It's all very wide.
So there's not a lot of skinnies there.
Not a lot of skinnies. There's a couple what we call fatties.
Yeah.
Which are like 2 or 3 foot wide, and then maybe get to a foot.
Yeah, we call those Gordas here.
Gordos, yeah.
Gordas. Well, it depends on what you're into.
I like stockies. They got to be, stocky is about a foot wide.
Okay.
Skinny's about like 5 inches wide.
Okay.
And then the fatties are 2 or 3 feet. Yeah. So but yeah, it was interesting to kind of like look into the woods and see those abandoned features, And
you're like, all right, that's what used to scare the crap
I was
out
like,
of me.
That's where they went. That's why I wasn't seeing them. So.
But okay, so big variety.
Yeah.
Lots of greens, lots of blues, blacks, double blacks. So like at least from reading about it, it feels like they kind of have a lot of stuff for any level of rider.
Yeah. You can go all groups. I would say Fitzsimmons Lower Mountain has got a lot of tech that's doable. Like I rode a lot of that last year. Probably almost every single trail. Didn't really have any problems. There's one called Fade to Black that's got a big drop in it that I didn't want to do. Not big on drops. 1, they scare the shit out of me if I'm not going at high speed. And 2, my ankles and knees can't take it anymore. Right. So I was steering clear. This trip, I was riding with 3 other talented riders. And so.
You were riding with 2 talented riders and Luke.
No, Luke is a good rider.
Luke is amazing.
Rider.
I'm just messing with Luke.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with Luke.
So, in fact, they brought a kid, and I say kid, he's 19.
Yeah. That's a man, by the way.
Yeah, he's a man, but I mean, compared to us, all of us, and he just was like the first day he was at the back of the pack, and I'm like, this kid can't ride. Then we let him out in front, and dude, he's skying everything, doing style, shrapping.
Okay.
Strapping the corner.
Strapping the corners.
Yeah. Like that kid was like, he's on fire. He knows how to ride. So it was fun to ride with those guys. I rode like a sissy. Like I genuinely was disappointed, physically disappointed. I still have a little PTSD from Angel Fire, and it was a little moist weather-wise. We had like overcast. So that was great. Moist. It was moist. Like the inside of a cake should be. Moist. But
that could have gone anywhere. When you said the inside, I was like, what is he going to say? What is he going to say? He kept it clean. Kudos.
So, any wood feature.
Yeah.
I would come up on and just freeze up. Like no joke, because I'm visualizing Angel Fire and slipping off that wall and breaking my shoulder and just like, I'm still not done with it. And so I was pretty pussed out on a lot of those features. So this trip, I did not ride as many double blacks. Double blacks, I would say that Arizona, if we have double blacks, it's a Whistler black. And then their double blacks are just off the chart.
So that's what was one of my questions is like, how do you compare their color scale to other parks? And we've talked about this on our podcast before, comparing like Arizona trail ratings to other places. Yeah. And said that like, you know, like a black in Colorado is like a blue in Arizona. Yeah. Yeah. But like what you're saying, I think, is that it steps up even further for Whistler.
Yeah. Whistler's no joke. It's above what we are dealing with. So,
but are the greens okay for beginners? Are the blues okay for intermediate riders?
So the blues, I trusted 100%. I could let go of the brakes and just blast. And I would say that I could drop most of the guys on the blues because I had no fear that I was going to come up on something that I was just like not ready for. Yeah. And so whether it was technical flow or whatever, I just could let go of the brakes and go. As soon as we got on black lines, I was like, I had to
more timid,
pick my way through. If I rode behind some of the guys, I could follow their lines, but I had a little PTSD. So I even then had a little trouble sometimes and had to talk myself into a couple lines. And then double blacks, I could do most of them, but they would throw in some big ass features that I couldn't even walk down on some of them. Like they were just crazy.
Were you sliding down on your butt?
Yeah, there's a couple. I literally would like drop the bike and kind of hold it with my toes as I slid down. Like I'm not kidding. Like that's how steep and nasty this stuff is. And you would see other riders that could just go down it because they're used to the way that their tires would react to that moist ground and traction. And they had confidence. I didn't have any. We're so used to dry stuff. The rocks there, if they get the dirt on top of them, get slick.
Which is the kind of the opposite of here is that you kind of aim for the rocks to get traction. There, the rocks can actually be deceiving.
Yeah, and then it changes. So if you're in the woods, it'll be a different type of like you could tell the rocks that were slippery because they were black. And so all the tires were like leaving skid marks on them.
Okay.
Like, and then, but then you'd come into some of the technical Whistler downhill and some of the other ones where you're actually riding rock slabs and they had traction. And so it was kind of weird how it would change, you know? So you couldn't always count on a rock.
Oh no. So at this point you come up to something and your brain's not sure if you got traction or not. So you're automatically slowing down.
Yeah. And if you're already timid, if you let go of the brakes and just let the tire roll and you're not counting on that traction, you're just skipping over the top, you're going to be fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. But what I was doing is trying to be more controlled, and I was on my brakes too much. And so then if my front tire slipped at all, it freaked me out. And then I would brake more, which would then, it's like double.
Freak you out even more. Yeah.
It's almost way better to ride that park as fast as possible, balls out. Like you'll do better, honestly, than if you're trying to pick your way down.
Oh man. So I don't know if I should ever go. Okay. I've got a whole bunch of questions about the runs.
Okay.
Run length. Were they long, short? Like how long were the runs?
June, the lower mountain is open and they're fairly short. Okay. 5 or 10 minutes at the most. Once they open the upper mountain, you can get much longer ones. And then we did this one called Mos. Yeah, I can't remember what the heck it was called. It's kind of like that. It's Mos Dos. No, I can't remember.
Okay.
Somebody's going to correct me. I should remember it was last week and I loved it.
But you're old.
Yeah. But when you go the gondola all the way up to the top of the world, the top of the world trail was closed, so we couldn't do it, but you could start this other one. It's a blue flow. I swear it was like a 40-minute flow to the very bottom.
It was a long run.
It was a long ass run. You would be super tired and it was awesome. It was so awesome. And it was a blue, but you could cook and there was good amount of jumps that you could hit.
Yeah.
And it would go through the forest, be out in the wide open. It was like huge berms, like everything. It had everything.
You posted an action cam video while you were there, and I watched it.
Yeah.
And I got bored because it was so long. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, this is like never ending.
There's others that I took them where my camera would just
die.
My camera is just like, this is too long. I'm going to stop. So like,
you've reached maximum.
Yeah. But yeah, so the flow trails are awesome. Family. There's definitely greens and blues that are totally family friendly. One of our customers was up there, the Bodies, and it's a husband, wife, and son, and they travel around in a van and check out all these things. So they happen to be up there, and they like Creekside. So Creekside is kind of, if you're looking at the mountain and then you just kind of pivot the mountain like a few degrees, it's a little tiny Whistler village on the side of the same mountain. But it has its own gondola that goes up. And the cool thing is you can ride up one of the Whistler side, the village, Whistler, like Fitzsimmons. The main side. And then you can traverse over to Creekside. And then when you get to the bottom, there's a gondola that's included in your lift ticket. And so you can ride that back up to the top and do more of the Creekside trails. Or there's a trail called Freight Train that you can run right back over.
So you can traverse between the two.
Yeah, basically. Which is really cool. So it gives you, effectively you're getting three mountains because you're getting Creekside, Upper, and Lower. And it's so much riding. And Creekside, I would say, has a lot more. Creekside was really family friendly because it wasn't so populated. So if you had like smaller kids that you were getting used to bike parks and you were on a blue flow line going down with some, like 10-year-olds or something that may not go very fast, there wasn't this line of like just crazy, Groms that are hitting 20-foot gaps, and like just sailing over everything, doing Mach speeds. It was a lot more tame terrain and less people. There was no lift lines at all.
So that's another question I was going to ask you. So I read that they have 6 lifts total. Does that feel right?
I probably.
Were they high speed lifts?
Yeah. So Fitzsimmons is high speed. It can load, I think, 4 bikes and then 1 hook. So 5, but you can get 5 or 6 people on the chair.
Okay.
And then when you get up to the Garbanzo, it is built like Sunrise. So it's got 3 bike racks that you roll onto, and you can get 4 people on the chair. And then there's a gondola that goes from Whistler Village all the way up to Top of the World. And that one you can usually get only 2 bikes in the gondolas. Yeah. And you have to get the gondola that's designated for bikes. That was the hardest lift to hit because not every gondola could take up bikes. It was really 50-50 sightseeing versus bikes. So there wasn't as many. That was on the front side. And then on Creekside, they had a gondola. That was cool because there was like, they put wraps on some of the gondolas. So they were like advertising.
Oh, that's cool.
And we got to get in the SRAM one.
Oh. So was there a Shimano one?
No.
Damn it.
Shimano sucks. Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true.
That's the first time he's ever said that.
That is not true. I cannot say that.
You just did, Dane.
One, because it's not true. At all.
And I can cut that audio out and just like replay that.
You can leave it because it's just me just feeding off of your constant like bashing a SRAM.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's not professional of me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was cool. That gondola up Creekside, it was at one point goes like straight up the mountain. It's really cool, like how steep they get. And and then when we did Upper Mountain, it was cool. The first day, there was so many clouds, it takes you into the clouds. And so when we got off the lift at the top, we're in the clouds.
So you rode down through the clouds?
Through the clouds. Like you can't really see.
I've snowboarded through the clouds. I've never ridden a bike through the clouds.
You can see fine, right? Yeah. Because you can see 20 feet in front of you and that's all you need to see. But 30 feet was starting to get hard to see. So it was really cool and had that kind of like really, mystic
surreal
vibe. Yeah. So, okay, what else?
So what were the lift lines like? You were there on a weekend. Yeah,
so again, Creekside, super almost nothing. We were there, 2 weeks before Crankworks.
Okay.
I think Crankworks is next weekend.
I think it's coming up soon, yeah.
So I would say they at their peak, they got to where we had to wait in line, but they have what's called a singles line. So what was cool is I was struggling with my PTSD and I just didn't want to hold those guys up while I kind of worked through my head games.
Yeah.
And so I started riding by myself and I got to ride in the singles.
So you went up way faster than them?
Way faster. Like it's so cool because you get in the singles line and you just meld in with whatever chairs.
Yeah, I do that. We did it when we snowboard.
Yeah. And that's key. I saw some kids where they were riding together. And so what they would do is singles line and just wait for each other at the top. And it was still faster than waiting in the line.
Yep.
But I would say there was nothing crazy. And then if you got tired of the lifts there and you wanted to do more, you go to Creekside. You wouldn't have to wait hardly at all. And then gondola, we only rode once, the big one that goes up to the Top of the World. Cause we didn't honestly know it was open. Everybody kept saying the top of the world was closed. So
you just figured the gondola was closed and the trails were closed.
Yeah, but then we saw the gondola moving, and I even saw a YouTuber post that he was up there like 2 hours, before I watched it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, how is it that he's up there? And what he was doing was going under this sign that on the one side had, God, I wish I could remember that trail. I'm going to look it up while we're doing this. But the sign had top of the world on it. He was going the trail that I was telling you about, the long blue.
Yeah.
But the sign said top of the world and then this other one.
Yeah.
So it looked like he was doing top of the world, but he wasn't. Yeah. So
what were the trail conditions like?
Really good. It had been raining a little bit, and it was kind of like drizzly, like not a heavy rain.
Yeah.
So one day we put our rain jackets on. We had them with us, but we didn't really need them.
Okay.
Like, and honestly, the mud was almost no mud. Like, I just built my bike yesterday back from the box, and I hadn't washed it after the trip, and there just wasn't much. There was definitely splatter from hitting little puddles, but
nothing major.
Nothing major at all. So it was good. So
what was your favorite trail?
Man, that is so hard. This one that I'm looking up the name is one of them that I'm, really, really
from the gondola, Blue Flow Trail.
Let's see how I got to put in bike in the search. Sorry.
Dead air. We're never supposed to have dead air, and we're having it right now. Yeah, but
people understand that you have to like Google stuff.
You got to Google shit.
You got to Google stuff. So, and this will take forever, and I'm not going to find it. Anyway, so this one at the top was one of my favorites. There was a section that Luke liked that was putting. Oh, okay. So I'll tell you something about the trails. You're really not starting a trail at the top and ending on the same trail. That's very rare that they're all that long. One of the
you're piecing together routes.
Yeah, one of the more annoying things is that a trail. You're like, I haven't ridden this trail, so I'm going to go ride that trail. It would be like super short and a transition from one trail to the other, and they would name that a trail.
Yeah,
and it would be really short. And then two, you would come out into these groups where there'd be like 3 or 4 trails. So you would do one trail like Slayer, and it would drop you into an open area, and then you could pick other trails. And so some of your time is spent trying to figure out.
It's constant choose your own adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, like, you can miss whole sections of the park if you're constantly riding the same entry trail and you don't split to another one. Okay. So A-Line is a good example. A-Line had some sections that was closed at one point and then opened again. So you'd pop in and out of A-Line. A-Line's one of their big jump lines, one of their famous ones. Yeah. And I can tell you that we call it pop on top. And so that's where you basically jump, and then I don't get much height and much distance, and I land on top, and then I actually pull up and I jump again off the top of the jump.
Yeah.
And then land on the downside. That's how I yeah.
So now, every jump for you is 2 jumps.
Yes, exactly. On A-Line, the jumps are so big that I was doing that instead of hitting them. Now, last year, when I went with my family, I was hitting the jumps at A-Line. So that's how much my head has changed.
Yeah.
Last year I was feeling good. It was right before, by the way, if you remember, Angel Fire, where I broke myself.
Yeah.
I was feeling really good, and then I broke myself. So this time I was pop on top on the A-Line. Crank It Up is a small blue jump line, and I like that one because I can go in the first run. I may not clear them all. By the second run, I'm clearing them all. But that's the one that had the braking bumps that was killing my arms. Okay. So if I sat there and rode that all day, you'd
be in trouble.
I'd be one day into riding that park. The technical stuff, Slayer, and I can't even name all the names. And that's the other thing is, like, half the time I didn't know what trail I was on. We just started at one, and it just ended up flowing into others.
And you're just like, okay, we're at the bottom. Let's go back. That was fun.
Yeah. Dos Mas. Maybe that's what it's called.
2 more?
Or one more? Uno Mas. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. Oh, my God. That took forever. So Uno Mas.
That's the one from the top.
Yes. Yeah. Right. But we were riding it from the Garbanzo, which is the second lift you take.
Yeah.
So lift-wise, when you're there, the Fitzsimmons lift is the main lift. When you buy your tickets, if you don't do them online, even when you do them online, you usually have to go in and get a card, an RFID card.
Yep.
And then that ticket office is at the base of Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons lift is the first one that you pretty much do if you're not going to do that gondola that goes all the way to the top.
Yep.
And if you do Fitzsimmons, you can get off at Fitzsimmons and then traverse over and hit the gondola at a station and ride that up to the top.
Okay.
But right off of Fitzsimmons, when you get off at the top, is Garbanzo, which is a little bit smaller lift. And that's the one that goes up to the upper mountain.
Okay.
So you got these 3 sections. You've got the lower mountain, upper mountain, and then from upper, it goes up to the top of the world. So that's something that was a little hard to wrap your head around because you watch a video and you see a lot of the videos that you see on Whistler are on Upper Mountain in this area near the Oakley sign. In fact, the guys took pictures jumping. It's a cool area where the Oakley sign is kind of hung from a tree. But it's in a way that when you jump it and take the picture, it looks like you're jumping off the edge of the world. It's really cool. And the Oakley sign is hanging up right above you.
Right,
it's pretty cool.
Great marketing for Oakley.
Very good. But a lot of the videos Remy Mathieu does and things like that, where there's a big hill that you climb, you basically roll up to the top and there's different steep descents, like rock rolls down to the bottom. And they're pretty severe. They're not as bad as you think, but the videos make them look way easier than they are because the holes are way bigger in person. Like, you think it on video, it almost looks like it's smooth and you just roll down there. It's no big deal. Don't be a sissy. But then you get there and it's like big, huge, like gaps in between the rocks where you're like, holy crap, my whole wheel could fit in there, So it's not as easy as it looks on TV.
Right.
So,
all right. Two final questions and we'll wrap it up here.
Okay.
Just to help me quantify or understand, put it in context that I would understand. How much more awesome is it than Angel Fire?
Oh man, that is tough because Angel Fire is pretty amazing, but Angel Fire has one lift. Yep. So it's 3 to 4 times as cool as Angel Fire just because
it's got 3 to 4 as many places to get up the mountain.
Now Big Bear has 2 lifts. But they go to the same place.
Yeah.
So they don't really offer a ton of options. And Angel Fire blows. I like Big Bear, but Angel Fire blows it away.
Yeah.
I think Angel Fire is probably the best
in the U.S.
I
haven't been to Trestle yet. Have you?
No.
I've heard that Trestle.
I saw their wood features, so I'm not going.
I heard that Trestle rivals Angel Fire. Ashley and Don just went up there. So that's on our,
they've been
I think that's Winter Park.
Okay, yeah. I would like to check that out. I don't think I've been to Winter Park. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I would say Whistler's bucket list. I think I could go to Angel Fire every year because of our proximity, and it's much closer and much cheaper.
Yeah.
Whistler, I honestly, so one thing before we close this, I'd like to kind of go over the numbers.
Yeah, go over the numbers. Okay, well, let me ask you one final question that I should have asked earlier.
Okay.
Just a stupid logistical question, but are there water fountains throughout the place, ability to fill up water throughout the day?
Yeah, there's water fountains. There's I didn't really use them. I didn't have any water. Like it was
because we're from the desert. Well, we're so used to drinking.
Yeah, and it was so moist. So,
all right, go over the numbers. What did the trip cost you?
So ultimately around $570 for the airfare round trip.
$575 US.
Yeah, that's Phoenix to Vancouver. $150 round trip for the shuttle from Vancouver to Whistler, including a bike. And that's
6 steps are at $725.
Yep. And then $50 each way for my bike.
$825.
So, and then $300 if you split the condo thing that we got, the 2-bedroom, we split it 4 ways, so it was $300.
Okay.
And so roughly before lift tickets and food around $1,200.
$1,200. Then you guys were 3 days. 3 days, so that's another.
Well, so we were
$225 in lift tickets.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days.
How many days you ride?
We rode 3.
You rode 3.
2 travel days because That was the one thing that kind of sucked is it was hard to put together a travel day that was anything.
That was anything but a travel day.
Yeah.
So you're burning 2 days getting there and getting back.
The shuttle was frustrating and I don't think it was the shuttle's fault, but the airport was in a way that you had to kind of drive through downtown, one of the downtowns of Vancouver. If you go to Vancouver, you'll see like there's multiple high-rise downtowns, one of them is the shuttle trust has to has to go through to get to the Sea to Sky highway. And that took like an hour through town.
So you're going like 5 miles and it takes an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the rest of it was probably an hour, maybe hour and a half. So it was like 2 to 3 hours depending on traffic that they would tell us.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating because we got an early flight and we got in pretty early. But when you start putting all those things together.
What time did you get to the village?
We got there at like 5.
So you can basically build your bikes, have dinner, go to bed.
Which is exactly what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that the travel days kind of sucked. And then on the way back, I would say the travel day really sucked because when we got into Vancouver, we could not. No, we did have a layover in San Francisco
on the way back.
Both ways. Both ways.
So you did have a layover.
Yes, I'm sorry. We had a layover. Yeah, we did. I didn't realize it because on the way there, it was real quick. It wasn't very long. On the way back, Phoenix was getting a dust storm, a haboob.
Yeah.
And so we were a good 2 hours late.
But that doesn't change what I had mentioned earlier about the fact that Dane, you booked you booked a flight with a layover, but there are 25 cities that have direct flights.
Direct flights. Yeah.
And I did look with Phoenix and verify Phoenix does have direct flights to Vancouver.
I think Mike looked up that and doing Air Canada.
Yeah.
And I think it was like $300 extra. So I think our judgment call was not so much
the time.
You're
okay with the time.
Yeah. If your travel day is a travel day,
who cares if you have a layover?
If you're saving $300, I mean, that paid for my lift tickets.
Yep. So, for sure. All right, man. Well, to our listeners, we appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
To help us, one of the great things you could do is go out into Apple or Spotify and give us a review. We'd really appreciate that. We do have all of our podcasts are launched on YouTube now. So if that's or YouTube Music, if that's a place that you like to listen, you could listen on there. Like and subscribe, as all those guys like to say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better about doing this. We never do it.
I appreciate because I think it's cool. I do use YouTube a lot, and so I love when my feed comes up.
Yeah, it shows us.
And it shows us. I love it. I know we don't have any video on there,
and we have like no listeners on there. There's like dozens of listeners.
You know
on
what?
there.
It'd be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter. So, just as long as you're listening.
Yeah.
Would love some feedback always. You can email us at mountaincog@gmail.com. You can click that link that says send us some fan mail. If you do and you want us to get back to you, you need to include your contact information. So anyone that's written us on the fan mail, like we don't know who you are. So like we have a hard time. So that's a feature that it's just our system, the way we use it. So I don't know, email us at Mount Cog. You can hit us up at on Instagram at Mountain Cog. I think we actually have a Facebook page, but no one uses Facebook anymore.
I use Facebook. I know Thank you very much. Not that old,
but primary Instagram is what I keep track of. Appreciate y'all. Let us know what you think, what you want us to talk about, and you got any final thoughts for our listeners here, brother?
I think that's it. And just go ride your bikes and have fun.
Ride your bikes.